we're just gonna sing. Yes, it is actually. Now it's off. Oh, come on. It's still not working though. Oh, there. Okay, we just had to wait a moment. Okay, we're gonna sing you a little song, and I think you probably all know it because it's the national anthem. So.
If you could all stand for the national anthem, that would be really lovely. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome everybody. It's great to see the auditorium packed. Thank you very much to Sophia Goodnow for leading our graduate students in, and thank you to Riley and Emery for singing the national anthem. I'm going to give my welcome address, and then I'm going to jump up and down and MC proceedings. And there'll be lots of talk from me, and lots of talk from our guests, and lots of opportunities to take photos. It's a day of celebration and a day of taking photos, so snap away. Welcome, students, families, friends, guests, and faculty to the Mohawk Trail graduation ceremony for the class of 2023. A lot of work has gone into today. I know this has been a date on the calendar for a lot of people for a long, long time. And the weather wasn't playing ball with us today, so there's been a lot of shifting around at the last minute. And just a very quick thanks to Connie, Shana, Kathy, and our incredible custodial team for shifting everything around today and hopefully making everything as smooth and comfortable as possible. I'm incredibly proud to be able to share the stage with you all. I hope that these few words will add to the celebration of your achievements on this memorable June day. I'm sure that when you first started at Mohawk Trail, this day felt like a million miles away. Well, it's here and now, and you can't get out of it. It's happening. Congratulations on making it to the finishing line. As well as learning how to be adaptable, patient, determined, and supportive of each other, it has been a pleasure to be able to appreciate your intelligence, empathy, inclusiveness, and to watch you grow as role models, leaders, and trailblazers in and beyond the school community. I wish you well with the steps you have planned for your lives, and also the potential sidetracking and temporary pauses that life has planned for you all. I know that you will find a way. I know that the skills that you have developed in school will stand you in good stead for the future. And I also know that the culture that you have created and helped to grow here will always be a support for you, should you need it. I would like to give you 3 pieces of advice that you can file in your brains, ignore, or somehow resonate in the future at some point at a later day. Number 1, replace the word but with the word and. See which doors and opportunities open up to you when you do. Number 2, be persistent with your goals. Learn patience. Hard start at 0. not 100. Birds fly from the ground, not from the top. Number 3, you're at the start of a fantastic journey. Make sure that you are good to people as you climb up. Invariably, you may well have to pass some of them again if you temporarily go back down. And just to wrap up, many congratulations once again. I hope that you enjoy every second of this celebration as you really have earned it. Congratulations. This year, we're in a very fortunate position of having 2 salutatorians. And I'd now like to invite Emery King and Savannah Simmons to come up and present their salutatorian address for today.
Okay, hello. Me and Savannah are gonna do separate speeches. So we're just gonna be standing up here all cute together. So yeah. Okay, so hello, first of all. My name is Emery King, and first of all, I just want to take a moment to welcome everyone who is able to join us today. This includes, but is not limited to, parents, caregivers, teachers, mentors, other students, family, friends, pets, and my fellow graduating seniors. Welcome. I also wanted to thank everyone in the audience for raising such interesting individuals. Or, for some of my classmates who raised themselves, give yourself a pat on the back. You made it. And I'm sure now that we have made it, it's like, what? How did I get here? I looked it up on WebMD because I thought I was going crazy, and it just told me I was measuring my time. So don't measure your time because it will actually go faster. And as time flows on, so do rivers. I'd like to share a metaphor Mr. Drake has brought up at least twice before in AP Lit with all of you. It goes like this: you can't step in the same river twice. This quote provides a lot of information if you really look into it. It tells how fast the world changes, how fast people change on a social level and biological level, and how you cannot repeat past experiences. So, for me, that means have fun in the moment and take opportunities that are given to you. One of these opportunities given to me was the chance of earning the equity endorsement, which is what this purple cord represents. The equity endorsement is an award given to students who have dedicated a noticeable portion of time to bettering their school and communities in the following fields of diversity, equity, and inclusion. As one of the recipients of the equity endorsement, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the students who won't get to graduate, today or in the future, especially students who have been violently murdered by gun violence through school shootings, and to the countless others lost to gun violence and accidents at home or in public. I would also like to highlight transgender students across the country, especially trans people of color, who are being unproportionately singled out and bullied, harassed, discriminated against, and killed. While I apologize for bringing up such a subject, this is the reality that is lived by many. It is a reality that is being lived out as I speak, a reality being lived out by the world. However, it is something that as a larger community, we can slowly change. As we go out into the bigger world, we are sure to discover more ideas and realities. Some we will embrace, while others we will fight to change. We can only create change by being active or proactive. Be proactive in your own life. In our culture, we don't have many rites of passage, like stretching our lips with plates or stacking metal rings around our neck. This is another idea we talked about in AP Lit with Mr. Drake. Enjoy and celebrate the things in life that come with age. Participate in activities that put you out of your comfort zone. For example, these activities could include prom, senior soak, college mixers, and really anything that has to do with other people in your class or community. Because even though these years of being young adults are only a small fraction of our lives, they are some of the most influential. We learn so much about ourselves in a short period of time, and it can be confusing. So take some weight off your shoulders and go have some fun. To finish my speech, I have a quote by Gerard Way. I know this could make some of you groan because of how Emory it is to include a quote from My Chemical Romance's Headman, but I encourage you to listen to what he's saying. This quote is from the song The Kids From Yesterday off of the album Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. Well now, this could be the last of all the rides we take, so hold on tight and don't look back. We don't care about the message or the rules they make. I'll find you when the sun goes black. You only live forever in the lights you make. When we were young, we used to say that you only hear the music when your heart begins to break. Now, we are the kids from yesterday. Thank you.
I would like to begin by saying thank you to family, friends, staff, coaches, and everyone who has helped us along the way. Thank you for attending this special ceremony today and for always supporting us. I am honored to stand here before you and deliver this speech. It is thanks to you, all of you here today, that we have become the intelligent, hardworking, and charismatic people that we are. It's crazy to think that once we were shy, tiny 7th graders who were scared of growing up, but here we are today, sitting together, ready to graduate. However, at least for me, growing up is still scary. College is intimidating, and now we are faced with the task of finding our place in the world. I want my fellow classmates to know that they are not alone in feeling this way, and I have full confidence that each and every one of you sitting in those seats is going to accomplish great things in this world. I feel truly blessed to have been able to spend the last 6 years amongst these individuals, who are some of the most hardworking and caring people I have met. The students in this class are driven and devoted to fight for what they believe to be right, and their passion will play a huge role in their success. The memories I have made in the past 6 years of this class I will hold with me forever. It's crazy to me just how entertaining my class can be sometimes in just such small numbers. Here's to screaming at the top of our lungs during Booster Week's pep rallies and Olympic Games, into waking up at 4 a.m. in order to decorate our class hallway, in which like only 10 of us showed up for, and somehow we still won the hallway competition. Here's to making tornadoes in AP Chemistry, sorry Miss Litch, and the one time Miss Litch showed Paige and I the secret chemical closet. Here's to the random fights that would go down in our class group chat where literally no one knew what was going on. And here's to always remembering to embrace our weird side, doing things like playing music from the Twilight movie soundtrack as we hosted funerals for our eco columns in AP Environmental Science. Or my personal favorite memory of having to beg my fellow classmates to help participate in fundraisers so we can make it to where we are today. Remembering back to junior year when our Booster Week theme was Extreme Cheapskates, I never thought that senior year could have gone as well as it did. This class has proved itself worthy over and over again, even though we've had to overcome challenges outside of the typical high schooler's life. We handled the pandemic where we listened to our teachers through computers as they talked to a black screen because no one would turn on their cameras. We survived college application season with our beloved Miss Newenschwander leave-in and having other counselors come and go. All these graduates sitting in front of you today have tackled these stressful situations and blossomed into the wonderful young adults they are. That being said, I want to express my gratitude to the excellent staff here at Mohawk Trail. We would not have been able to overcome these challenges without you. The staff here are truly some of the most selfless adults I have met. They deeply care about their students and push them to do their best. They see us as both people and students, always understanding of our situations and doing what they can to provide the best education possible for us. I feel fortunate to have had so many of the wonderful teachers here, and you guys will always hold a special spot in all of our hearts. To my fellow peers, I hope you know how proud I am of each and every one of you. You all have amazing opportunities ahead of you, and I know life after today may become daunting, but you will crush it. As Meryl Streep once said, the formula of happiness and success is just being actually yourself, in the most vivid possible way you can. Class of 2023, I hope you all continue to shine bright and prove to this world just how powerful and brilliant you really are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emery and Savannah. And now it gives me great pleasure to invite Mr. Mike Browning to make the commencement address.
Good afternoon. It is so good to be here with you all, celebrating this moment with you today. And it truly is an honor to be asked to come back as you were the last class that I taught here in Mohawk. So thanks you guys. This campus brings so many memories and feelings of nostalgia as I think of all the time that I spent here. So just a little about me for those that don't know my history with Mohawk. I grew up nearby in Coleraine. I graduated comfortably in the middle of the class of '88. I then came back, much to the surprise of many, including myself, to teach history here. Both my son and daughter graduated from here as well. As a teacher for 11 years, I had many opportunities to be involved in the lives of students, not only as a teacher, but also as a class advisor and a coach. And so I enjoy the flashbacks of building mini floats and preparing booster weeks, playing for semi, coaching football games out in the field, playing at break, taking field trips, our day-to-day conversations and discussions in class, and so much more. So what do you say to a group of young adults on the verge of stepping into the longest journey of your lives, adulthood? What words of wisdom, and how do you challenge them? Well, I am a simple man, so I intend to keep it simple, and hopefully something worth the learn. As I work my way through this speech, I've thought about how much I enjoyed my time in class with you. I love greeting you all at the door with a quick connection or a high five, just as a way to say, you're important to me, and I'm glad you're in my class. You see, as a teacher, we have the privilege of enjoying all your smiles, your laughter, watching you grow not only in your academics, but in your social interactions as well. You're full of wonder, possibilities, imagination, questions, imps, vulnerability, so much more. And we get to see it all, in all the ways that you grow. My favorite part of teaching, and this is probably true for most teachers, was always watching for that light to switch on, that moment that a student grasped something new or took a risk by sharing what you had learned, that moment you forgot your fears and broke out of your shell. And while that doesn't happen all in the classroom, that is where it all starts, as we build a relationship that is unique to our grade. So I'd like us to use our imaginations and take a little journey, a little walk down the hall, down the middle school wing, all the way to the last door on the right, past Jetson's room and all his antics, to room 186, our history class. And now that we are in the classroom, let's ignore the crowd for a few minutes, the distractions around us, and for a few minutes it's just us. Me sitting on this old lab table, painted with a green top, and you, my eager audience, as we dive into another lesson. Today's learning target starts with this question. So I've graduated, now what? And that's a huge question. And normally we would spend a lot of time discussing this and working our way through this. But this last time, you get to just listen and absorb any kernels of wisdom that you think can apply to your life's journey. If you remember, the walls of my room were covered with art. And that art was from various students in various classes throughout the years. In one corner, we had a large detailed castle with a moat. On another wall, there was a big crest that had a football on it. And if you look close enough, you'd see there were too many laces. And on the back was a long dragon with a tiny knight in front of it, looking like he may have met his match. On the front wall was this many-directional array of arrows, full of colors with the words social studies across the middle. And on the wall above the closets were my conduct words. These are words that I felt that if I had left my students with nothing else, these words would give guidance to some of the obstacles of life's wonderful journey. And it is a wonderful journey. And in front and center is that old lab table with a green painted top. And on that, a student helped me paint a compass across it. Now, as we go back to this learning target, so I've graduated, now what? Let's draw on some of the art around the room as we discuss this question. You know, when I thought about how to prepare my thoughts for this topic, I tried to think about what were the basics that one needs to navigate the journey of life successfully. Something that applies regardless of your starting point, because we come from so many varying starting points. Or the obstacles that will greet you, regardless of your aspirations, your dreams, your goals. What are the basics that transcend our differences? So drawing on the picture in the back of the room, of that little knight taking on that fierce dragon, I think I found my inspiration. When we look at what he's wearing, and for those of you that wear a uniform for your occupation, you know that there's a purpose for all the components of it. So as we talk about this knight and his uniform, let's consider what would be the armor of life. And let's begin with thinking about this compass that is on this table in front of my room and its purpose, to help navigate our course. And let's use some of those conduct words up on the walls we describe our armor. While there are several pieces to our armor, I want us to consider three of the pieces that will guide our success: the helmet, the breastplate, and the boots. I'd like to start with the helmet, And drawing from the conduct words, we'll call this the helmet of truth and honesty. In our culture, it seems this can be very hard to find and a rare commodity. For all of its benefits, and there are many, the internet is difficult to regulate, and as a result, we're left with many voices telling us their versions of everything. Add to that the many platforms for social media where people can find any so-called truth they want by merely finding a source that embraces their ideas. As enticing as that is, when we go back to the analogy of the compass, there is only one direction that gives you true north. No matter how bad you want it to say, north is a different direction. For those of you familiar with the sitcom, The Office, no better example can be found than in the episode called Dunder Mifflin Infinity, where we watch their fearless boss, Michael Scott, despite the warning of his ever-loyal assistant to the assistant regional manager, Dwight Schrute. And despite the truth that lies in front of him, he proceeds to drive his rental car into a lake, because that's what the voice on the system was telling him. Truth is to be found, not only worth the searching, but crucial to the direction of your journey and the journey of those you interact with. So search and find it and treasure it. Let's call this next piece the breastplate of integrity. The basic definition of integrity is to have moral excellence and firmness. Now, when considering structural integrity, this can be found all around us, and we take it for granted. Whether it is the mode of transportation used to get here, or even where you're sitting. We didn't notice anyone inspecting the integrity of these seats before we took a seat. And why? Because we either subconsciously or knowingly trust the integrity of that structure. That it is doing what it's supposed to do, without someone inspecting it before each person takes a seat. So if we think about this breastplate of integrity and how to apply it to our internal integrity, it has everything to do with how those connected to you trust you. It is protecting the vital organs of who you really are, and it will affect positively or negatively all the relationships you have, whether at home, at work, at school, wherever life's journey takes you. And now we're down to the boots. Now let's think more about the basic soldier for this and less about the knight, as I want us to consider the boots and the foundation they help you to stand firm on. Anyone who has served in the military, or for that matter, anyone who has played a sport, you understand the importance of proper footwear that will allow you to have good footing, as well as the disadvantage of not having it. Firm footing is everything if you're going to have success. So we'll call this piece the boots of character. This is the foundation of your moral fabric and who you are at the core. Oxford describes character as the mental or moral qualities distinctive to an individual. We are often drawn to people of strong character, as there is a solidness or a firmness with which they not only present themselves, but with the decisions that they make. So this is who you are when no one else is around or watching. This is the foundation with which everything else stands, the person that you have to live with. So as we start to wrap up this lesson and prepare to leave the classroom, let's try bringing this point home. Let's think back to your data entry journals. If you remember, this was one of your weekly assignments, and the premise was to track the ways that you connected to your community. The first prompt was, explain one way in which you were part of the community this week, and how were others in the community affected by your involvement. The second prompt was, explain one way in which you were a responsible citizen this week. What is the possible outcome of you not being responsible in that situation? How you answer those questions has everything to do with this armor of life. How your character and integrity, coupled with truth, will be the instruments that help you navigate this journey. How you will engage the many communities you will be part of. So my challenge to you is this: gear up and refine your armor. Remember that this journey is not about what assets you gain, what career path you choose, what incredible things you accomplish and achieve, but rather, what is the fabric of your character as you move about this journey, and how you care and treat those you interact with along the way, and the memories you make and the lives that you touch. Do not be passive, but rather be intentional. Engage this journey, and we will be the better for it. Well, it's time to leave this room and rejoin the crowd, as this is your moment. And there are many here because of you to support and guide you on your journey. So remember to be kind and gracious, loving and patient, and remember that truth, character, and integrity are essential as you are becoming who you are. Class of 2023, thank you, congratulations, and enjoy the journey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Browning. And now it gives me great pleasure to invite Paige King, our valedictorian, to give the valedictorian address to the class of 2023.
Good afternoon. When I was younger, I was always looking forward to the future. In elementary school, I was waiting for the moment I became a big kid, a sixth grader. Once entering middle school, that became wanting to be an adult as soon as possible, wanting to graduate and leave home and do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. Then there was only 1 year left until graduation. We were all busy with school and applying to colleges, wanting time to pass faster so we could see what schools we got accepted to. Then there was only 1 semester left. For myself and some other students, that semester consisted of applying to any and all scholarships we could get our hands on. I can tell you that the hard work paid off. Then there was only 1 month left. This last month was all about planning for things to come, such as prom, where Savannah and I had to play Tetris in order to fit all the food in my car, or whitewater rafting with Mr. M, which ended up not being as terrifying as we expected, or the senior soak, where we almost lost our beloved friend Landon after he got hit in the face with a water balloon, or the student versus staff games, where Savannah and I absolutely destroyed Miss Kate and Mr. Rabasco in badminton. And now there's only mere minutes until the class of 2023 receives our diplomas and move on to the next phase of our lives. Surprisingly, the day we've been waiting for so long is actually pretty terrifying. Right now is a moment of immense change, a time for a completely fresh start. But moving on doesn't eradicate the work it took to get to where we are now. One of the most important lessons I learned in my life, I learned from playing tennis. This lesson was to not be afraid of a challenge, because a challenge is what enables you to grow. This class is filled with some of the most persevering and motivated people I've ever met. Some of us accomplished what should not be physically possible, which is managing schoolwork for 4 AP classes while also participating in varsity-level sports and working an absurd amount of hours at our jobs, while still succeeding in all areas. We all successfully completed our capstones, some of us challenging ourselves to learn things we have never done before. One of the other important lessons I learned during high school, I just learned very recently while completing my independent study. When working on my independent study, the wonderful Miss Silverman told me that I am very good at doing what people expect of me, which is why I am successful in school, but not so much of doing what I want for myself and expressing myself how I want. And that's something I think all of us should consider when we head into college or whatever the next part of our lives brings our way. This is the time to discover who you really are, what your passions are, your goals are, and express yourself. It can feel hard to change in high school, especially in a small area such as this one, when everyone has known you for what feels like your whole life. But the future starts now, so make it what you want it to be and what you want for yourself. As Heath Ledger once said, if you make decisions based upon people's reactions or judgments, then you make really boring choices. Finally, I would like to thank the staff of Mohawk Trail. You are all the reason the class of 2023 is able to stand up here today and feel confident in our abilities to face whatever challenges that will arise next. You have offered us a community that was supportive and that believed in our ability to do well, and we all are, extremely lucky to have you. Thank you, Ms. Basil and Ms. Camarda, for helping the class get itself together and have an amazing senior year. Thank you, Mr. M, for dealing with Savannah and I in AP Calc all semester. Thank you, Ms. Litch, for helping me find my love for chemistry and letting Seth, Savannah, and I play tiddlywinks after begging you for a year. Thank you to the capstone teachers for pushing us to create interesting and impressive projects. Thank you, Mr. Meyer, for always being able to come up with very weird stories that allowed the AP Bio class to remember the material. I wish I had time to show my gratitude to each individual teacher and staff member, but just know every one of you has made a positive impact in our lives in some way. This school has encouraged me to push myself past what I thought I could accomplish, which is what allows me to stand up here today as the valedictorian for the class of 2023. Thank you.
everyone's ready, I'd like at this point to invite Martha Ferber from the school committee to stand up to the table, and Michelle Stanton, our superintendent of school, to stand up to the table. I'm going to say the name of the student. The name of the student is going to stand up. I'm going to read some really nice things about them, and then they're going to receive a diploma from Martha and Cheryl, and then they're going to come and stand here, and I'm going to shake hands. And this might be a good place to take a photo if you want to take a photo. Otherwise, I'm sure you can figure out a photo later on. Okay. So when I say your name, you're going to stand up. There we go. Paige King. Paige produced a capstone project on painting psychological concepts. Her future plans are to attend VASA, where Paige hopes to study, well, she will be studying chemistry and biochemistry. And what Paige learned from being a student at MTRS is that you need to put in the hard work yourself in order to reach your goals, and don't ever be scared to ask anybody for help. Paige will miss her friends, the close community, and the teachers that have supported her throughout her time in high school. The advice that Paige offers future graduates: start working on your college applications early, stay true to yourself, and be open to change. Simmons. Savannah, in her capstone, was focused on learning to knit a cardigan. She was always interested in the ways knitting can be used therapeutically to help relieve stress and anxiety. Additionally, Savannah was interested in how making your own sustainable clothing can help save the environment. Savannah is going to the University of Vermont and majoring in biochemistry on a pre-med track. Once she graduates, Savannah hopes to move on to med school and become a doctor or a surgeon, and have a focus on pediatrics, as she loves to work alongside kids and provide help for others in need. Savannah learned most of all from her time at MTRS is demonstrating responsibility and leadership will give you more opportunities. And Savannah will miss the meaningful relationships made with friends and teachers who have supported her on this journey and helped her make plans to succeed in the future. The advice for future graduates: even though procrastinating can be very tempting, keep the motivation up and don't let yourself fall back. And as a senior, make sure you stay on top of college and scholarship application deadlines. King. Emery's capstone project was adapting a story to stage. Emery's future plans are to get a BFA in music theatre at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York. He hopes that he'll be able to perform on Broadway and television. Emerick learned to value education, educators, and community. And Emery will miss the music and performing art departments, including everyone he performed with. He hopes you know how much you mean to him and how much you motivated him to become better. Emery's piece of advice is: don't compare yourself to others, go at your own pace, and trust the process. Wasilewski. Claire's capstone project was focused on local dairy farming. Claire will attend UMass Amherst for sustainable food and farming as well as animal science. Claire learned the importance of community during her time at MTRS and will miss the small classes and Lammy the dog. The piece of advice for future graduates is, don't sweat it. Was in music production. His future plans are to go to UMass Amherst and seeing where life takes him after that. He learned most from being a student at MTRS is that sometimes you have to consider the people you surround yourself with. You will miss the trails most, and his piece of advice is, pretend you know what you're doing. Project focus was learning about celiac disease and how it affects the body. Future plans to attend GCC and going into the medical field. Hannah learned most from being a student at MTRS is that it's okay to speak up and do what is best for yourself in the end. Hannah will miss playing volleyball and being able to go see her mum during the school day. Her mum will also miss her during the school day. The piece of advice that Hannah wants to give to future graduates are enjoy your time in high school and make memories because it goes by quicker than you think. Hannah Grace Barrett. Project was working with animals. She plans to attend Yukon stores to complete a 2-year animal science program, then applying for more specialized programs. She learned not to procrastinate whilst at MTRS, and will miss playing softball and being on a team of people who are all very close with each other. Her advice, don't procrastinate and be patient when it comes to the college process. Aileen Moffat. Yassin Abdelgawad. Capstone project focus was on BMW modification top to bottom. He even threatened to do my Prius. You can't get better than the Prius. Future plans, further education in the field of automotive. He's eventually going to run his own business. He learned most from being a student at MTRS, the importance of having an education and following your dreams. He will miss most the opportunity to grow as a learner, and he advises future graduates, follow your dreams. Yassin Abdelgawad. Devon Buchanan. Devon's capstone project was on a workout website. His future plans are to work, and what he learned most from being a student at MTRS is that everyone faces tough times, but it's important to recognize you are not alone. You will overcome your challenges. He will miss most at MTRS, Mr. Meyer's classes. I learned so much, and most importantly, it was our classroom where our voices were heard and an environment that was fun for learning was created. His piece of advice: stick through it, persevere, plan accordingly, and never give up. Congratulations, Devon. Porter Carr. Porter investigated how music is therapeutic as his capstone project. His future plans involved taking a road trip with his friends, and he learned about being at MTRS the importance of friendship. He will miss mostly his friends and his companions, and his piece of advice for future graduates is to stay in school. Porter Carr. Courtney Lee Shelley. Courtney's capstone project focus was writing poetry about historical places that Courtney had grown up around. Future plans involved getting a bachelor's degree in history at Western New England University and then a master's in anthropology at Keene State. Courtney wants to be a forensic anthropologist. Courtney learned most how to unapologetically be themselves at MTRS, and will miss most about MTRS wonderful history and English teachers. Courtney advises future graduates it's okay not to know what your future will look like, and it's okay to ask questions. Courtney Chen. Anthony Collier. Anthony's capstone was on musical analysis. His future plans involve working and maybe later in his life going to college. He would also like to go and visit Canada. He learned most as a student about the importance of accepting others, and he will miss seeing his friends. His piece of advice is not to procrastinate. Set a plan and make it happen. Anthony Collier. Charlotte Curtis. Charlotte's capstone project focus was on music history and learning the production process. Charlotte's future plans involve work and maybe some traveling, and Charlotte learned that patience is very important. Charlotte will miss seeing her friends and advises others, don't judge other people. They're not worth your time. Judge your government. They need it. Ollie Flynn. Ollie's capstone project was focused on history and evolution of hip-hop and dance. His future involves taking a gap year and trying everything to explore his options. He learned most about being a student at MTRS is that hard work will give you results. We'll miss the people and friends he has made along the way, and his piece of advice for future graduates is no matter how hard high school becomes, walk with confidence, always show love, don't take hate personally, and just have a good time with every situation. You'll get through it. Also, don't be lazy. Jessica Goki. Jessica created a course on the history, culture, and concerns of the LGBTQIA+ questioning community in the United States and other pertinent information for parents. Jessica created a workshop which was hosted by a local library. Jessica's future plans include going to GCC, and Jessica will miss most her friends at MTRS. Jessica Goki. Ariana Rose Goodjum. Capstone focus project was the art and history of folklore, future plans to travel. Ariana learned that patience will get you a long way. Ariana will miss the community most, and the piece of advice for future graduates, don't be that guy. Ariana Goodjum. Maya Virginia Grant. Capstone project, composing a piece of music on the assimilation of Aboriginal communities in Canada. Future plans, attending Wheaton College in the fall and double majoring in history and political science. Maya learned that comparing yourself to others academically isn't going to get you anywhere. Be confident in what you can do. Maya will miss friends, teachers, especially Mrs. White, because she helped me discover my love for history. Maya's piece of advice for future graduates, don't feel like you need to know everything about who you are by the time you graduate. There is time. Riley Alexandra Hager. Capstone project, early childhood education and teaching. Future plans going to Western New England University to get a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and then take over NASA and thank Mr. Meyer. Riley learned that nothing is easy, but anything is possible if you set your mind to it. Riley will miss the community of teachers that help make life easier, going to school with my sister, seeing my fabulous friends every day, and loitering in the parking lot. Piece of advice to future graduates: drink water, bring snacks, go to bed at a somewhat decent time, and caffeine won't ever fix everything. Push yourself. Your future self will thank you in the end, and in the end, everything will be okay. Riley Alexandra Hayden. Ava Mayreed Hazlett. Capstone project focus on abortion. Future plans, working to get that bread. Learned to live, laugh, and love at MTRS. We'll miss the homies. Doesn't work in an English accent, does it? We'll miss the homies, and urges future graduates to be considerate to each other. Ava Mayreed Hazlett. Grace A. Hicks. Capstone project was on the decline of the Catholic Church in Franklin County. Future plans to attend Greenfield Community College, where Grace will study nursing, come out with an RN, and then continue to get my BSN. Grace hopes to focus on nursing in labor and delivery. Grace learned that teacher support is huge. Grace feels lucky to have gone to a school where faculty is friendly and always there to help. Grace will miss the science department the most, including AP Bio with Mr. Meyer and Anatomy with Miss Lynch. Thank you for your guidance and showing me a field I have grown to love. She advises it's okay to change your mind and not to know what you want to do. You're only 17 after all. Grace A. Hicks. Joseph Lopez Isabella. Capstone project was focused on learning the piano. Future plans include travel and focusing on music and art in college. Landon learned that high school can be fun if you let it be fun. It can be an enjoyable experience if you let it be. Landon will miss playing music with the band and Miss Silverman's art classes and the tennis team. He will also miss the school lunch salads. They were always so good. Piece of advice to future graduates: the people you least expect can turn out to be your best friends. Landon Joseph Lopez Isabella. Cheyenne Jones. Capstone project focus, painting murals in the childcare room at the YMCA. Cheyenne will continue school and focus on an art program while studying graphic design and eventually getting a master's in fine arts. Additionally, Cheyenne will move around and see the world while she's young before starting her own family. And lastly, Cheyenne will try to have as many experiences as possible because life is short and you don't want to miss out on anything. Cheyenne learned patience from being a student at MTRS and will miss the environment. A piece of advice to future graduates is growing up is not as scary as it's led to be. Freedom is amazing, and you might be nervous at first, but having the ability to make your own choices will lead to meeting new friends, great places, a potential love interest, different paths through life. Take risks, and if they don't work out, try something else. Think about what you want and not what anyone wants, because it's your life, and if you live your life for other people, you may never know the opportunities you passed on. Cheyenne Jones. Michaela's capstone project focus was art as therapy. Michaela has been accepted to Fitchburg State. As a student, Michaela says, I think the most important lesson learned in school is not to procrastinate when you're given an opportunity. She will miss her friends the most. And a piece of advice for future graduates. If I have to give future graduates any advice, I would have to say, stay in school. Education is important. Michaela Noyes. Christopher Barnes-Reuter. Christopher's capstone project was a marketing and leadership class. Future plans to study in Norway and build a career there. As an exchange student, he learned that an American school is very different from a Norwegian school. He'll miss the friends he made as well as a small amount of people in the school. Best piece of advice? Be open to change. Christopher Barnes-Reuter. Percy Snow. For their capstone, Percy created artwork inspired by queer artists and research LGBTQ+ representation in museum settings. Future plans. Percy will be attending Clark University in the fall with the hopes to study literature, political science, and perhaps art history. But they are very indecisive. Being a student at MTRS, Percy has learned to throw themselves into the social scene, despite not being 100% comfortable to do so, a lesson that will be a big help in moving to university. Percy will miss the people the most, in particular those who push them to exit their comfort zone to make friends and work harder academically. Special shout out to Miss Silverman, who deserved a therapist salary on top of her teaching one. Piece of advice, take AP classes. They aren't actually all too hard. They aren't actually harder than regular level classes, but you get AP credit, which which looks super fancy on your transcript. Percy Snow. And now, I'm going to pass things over to Superintendent Stanton, who will read the confirmation of graduation. Superintendent Stanton.
Thank you. As Superintendent of Schools, it is my privilege to declare that the students of the class of 2023 have fulfilled Massachusetts requirements in relation to high school graduation and are now officially graduates of Mohawk Trail Regional High School.